How's it going, folks? It's Rickzilla here with another spectacular stream. I mean, at this point, I can care two Fs about the recent Shanny drama, because I'm going to be looking at this woman that I've covered in several other streams, but mostly the StreamYards. But right now, I'm a little tired of Shanny because I'm going to be looking at some old-fashioned Adrasdea shit.
I just want my life back.
So, for those of you who are living under a rock, who don't know who this is Adrasdea, a 37-year-old woman who lives in a Section 8 housing, who basically plays victim and wastes everyone's time by making countless videos crying about how everybody's mistreating her, how people want her to die, and she always goes on doing this whole I have PTSD thing. It's kind of like Shanny, but the only difference is, as I said before, Shanny is not an accomplice to murder. At least, not that we know of. This is just going to be my little late night stream. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to bed right now, and that's understandable. But I always like to have a little time of these days just to myself, regardless of all the crazy shit that's been going on in this world. I always have to have time for... Alright. Everything. But with that being said, let's finish.
I just want my life back. Seriously,
Don't we all?
I just want my goddamn life back. 5 months they have been doing this to me, and for what? For why? What did I do to Daywave Radio to make them kill me? What did I do to deserve death? Absolutely nothing. I did nothing. I was just existing, and they started taking my videos and lying about me, and now all of their supporters and their fans want to kill me. Because they lied! Because they lied! They lied! They're telling people that I'm a murderer with absolutely no proof. They have had 5 months to prove that I am a murderer. And what have they proven? What have they proven? Nothing! Fucking nothing!
Yeah, this woman is off her rocker. She's a drug addict. Well, she's a drug addict. She's been homeless for 5 years. She's admitted to threatening self-harm constantly on a daily basis. She likes to play the victim every time things don't go her way. It's absolute insanity. I find cases like this a little bit fascinating out of the fact that, yeah, she is nuts. And I mean completely poco loco, wacko, utter bonkers.
proven nothing except the fact that they are perfectly willing to destroy the life of an innocent person because their pride is too great to admit that they were wrong, that they were lied to by my aunt who was abused.
Oh, shit.
Now, instead of saying that, instead of making a statement to all of their fucking supporters who want to kill me and telling them, hey, we were wrong. We were wrong. We lied. We lied. She's not a murderer. She didn't kill anybody. There's no evidence she killed anybody. It's extremely illegal for us to be telling people that she killed people because that is slander and defamation. And the only reason they're doing it is because they know that I can't afford to fight back. I can't afford a lawyer. I can't afford to force them to give my life back to me.
What she's arguing about is the fact that a lot of people have brought up a murder case that happened in 2009 when she was dating a convicted child rapist named Kenneth McBride. And she was seeing and sleeping with Kenneth while he was still engaged to a woman named Roberta Laws, a middle-aged woman with cerebral palsy. Adrasdea, or Mary as what she's referred to as, she implied that Roberta was getting in the way of their relationship and she needed to be removed from the equation. It said in her book that on her birthday, when her late grandma, took Mary and Kenneth out to a nice dinner, just the three of them, Kenneth told that he had a gift for Mary, which of course was the dead body of Roberta. You can debate on what transpired afterwards, but all we know as far as we're concerned is that Mary and Kenneth buried the body underneath the property.
And they know that. And they're just going to keep laughing and letting people destroy me and accepting money from it and laughing and saying that I deserve it. I didn't do anything to them. I contacted one sponsor. They've contacted all of my friends and supporters. They have contacted every single person on my Facebook list. They have contacted every single person that comments on my YouTube. They have contacted my therapist. They've contacted my doctors. They've contacted the building of the Section 8 that I live in. They have contacted the welfare office, telling them that I've committed welfare fraud. They've contacted dozens of people who were supporting me and caused them to stop supporting me and caused them to actively hate me because of their lies that they still have not proven. If they could prove even one goddamn thing that they said, just one, but they can't. They can't prove anything. They'll say, oh, well, so you didn't have any money. He could have given you the money to buy a shovel. Could have.
Yes, Blue. Adrasdea is a complete train wreck. She, like what Freddie McDonald says, she is a train wreck. And there is a lot to go over. I mean, she's kind of like Shani in some ways, like I've said before. She's kind of like Shani. if you want to know more about Adrasdea, there's a YouTuber that I have been watching. There's a YouTuber I've been watching named Adonis Paul. He has a lot of information regarding Adrasdea. He made a documentary, a 3-hour documentary chronicalizing the insanity of Adrasdea from when she was living on her Mima's property to her moving to LA for being a bum, to her moving to LA just to be a bum and mooching off the government, to her run-ins with trolls on 4chan, Reddit, and even in her YouTube comments, to being featured on podcasts such as Dave Wave Radio and Adonis Paul Live.
Could have. Murder cases don't rely on what could have happened. They rely on what did happen. What did happen was Kenneth McBride was a piece of garbage. He was a pedophile who got her pregnant and didn't want to take care of the baby. He killed her because she was pregnant with his child and she was disabled, and he did not want to take care of a disabled woman and possibly a disabled child.
Okay, I don't know about that, but from what I hear, Adrasdea has a habit of lying constantly, and she has lied so many times about people. She is more she's not concerned about the trolls calling her out. She's more concerned about people not believing her story, because we all know damn well she doesn't care about money. All she cares about, well, she does care about money. She cares about getting money for weed. But what she's mostly scared about is people calling her a liar, which on more than one occasion she has been called a liar, and she throws a hissy fit whenever things don't go her way.
He went on Craigslist looking for somebody else that was disabled to replace her, and he found me. Because the Craigslist ad that I posted.
I don't know about the mother part, but I know that she was kicked off her grandmother's property, or vacated her grandmother's property. She basically was living with her grandmother because her mother was basically, from what I understand, a crack addict or a druggie, and her cousins and aunt were trying to write Mary out of her grandmother's will. She's a real trooper here.
Said that I had mental disabilities, and he was looking for somebody else disabled that he could destroy or own the same way he did her. I didn't kill anybody. Kenneth McBride is a murderer. He is a pedophile. He is in prison for the murder that he confessed to. You motherfuckers don't get to come out 10 years later and say that the man that has been confessing to this murder for the last decade, because he confessed multiple times. He confessed when I first fucking called him. They have his full confession on tape. He confessed to the fucking judge. He confessed to what he did. Y'all don't get to come at me 10 years later and say, well, we don't like you, and so we want people to believe that you committed this crime simply because we don't like you. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. They fucking destroyed my life, and nobody is ever gonna care because they lied and said that I'm a murderer and that my life deserves to be destroyed.
She is more concerned about her validation more than her own health. She is more concerned about people calling her out because she likes to live in this little bubble of hers where she is always the perpetual victim and people should feel sorry for her. In actuality, she's kind of a scumbag if you think about it. She is, as people have said, a drug addict. She has threatened suicide on more than one occasion. She has been getting in fights with trolls on certain websites such as Reddit, 4chan, and even on her YouTube channel. She is basically featured as the butt of every joke on 2 YouTube podcasts, the Dave Wave Radio and Adonis Paul. Both have talked about her in several segments. She's living on Social Security, and she lives in a Section 8 housing, which of course, the rent is basically almost like $30, kind of cheaper than most actual apartments, and even other townhouses. It's kind of small, but livable.
Now I have to die because I'm not allowed to live. I'm not allowed to get help. I'm not allowed to survive. I have to wake up every single day in fear that people are going to come and hurt me because of the lies that these motherfuckers have been spreading. That's what fucking pisses me off. They call themselves journalists, but they have absolutely no journalistic integrity. That's what the fucking difference is between journalism, free speech journalism, and cyberbullying. A journalist would have had all of the facts before presenting the story to their fucking supporters. A journalist never would have painted an innocent human being as a murderer and destroyed their entire existence with no evidence that the person murdered anybody. They're not journalists. They're cyber bullies that are being paid to literally destroy human souls. I didn't kill anybody.
Now, who does that remind you of? Now, Blue, who does this remind you of? Let me play that back again.
They're cyber bullies with no never would have painted fucking supporters. A journalist never would have painted an innocent human being as a murderer and destroyed their entire existence with no evidence that the person murdered anybody. They're not journalists. They're cyber bullies that are being paid to literally destroy human souls.
Who does that remind you of? That comment saying these people are not journalists. They're cyber bullies. Shani basically said the same thing when those journalists were doing those articles on her from Business Insider and other news outlets who are covering her. Not the entire mainstream media, just a few. But the mainstream media has gained full awareness of Shani. And because of that, I think she's been blacklisted. However, this woman is still on YouTube. And this is an archive channel.
I didn't kill anybody. But I'm going to die because nobody will ever believe me. I'm in danger every single day of my life because of the lies that these men have told their subscribers about me. They have thousands of subscribers. And if I block one that's threatening to kill me, they'll just make a new account. I have that Bernice Morgan bitch blocked 5 times. 5 times. There's 5 of her. 5 of that one goddamn human being. And there's only one of me. There's only one of me. One of them is 5 against me. And none of you people are ever going to care. Because you want me to die, because you believe that the lies that these people are telling about me, and they have not proved it. If they can prove it, they can say it. But unless they can come up with some proof, and not just what could have happened, what they believe happened, because they don't know me, and they don't believe that I would act that way. It doesn't matter what you believe, I would act that way. He confessed. He has been in prison for 10 years for a murder that he openly confessed to committing. He confessed to it multiple times. He confessed to it multiple times. He confessed to it multiple fucking times. He confessed to what he did. That's why they're not going to reopen the case on people.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Mom.
I love you so much.
Love you too. Always and forever, forever and always. Sorry about that.
People's thoughts of what.
I agree with you, Adonis. It's always going to be someone who... I know. Just because it's just more than one person, I agree. Adonis Paul's got some good points. And I lost my train of thought.
When the person who confessed told them what happened, they don't need to go by what could have happened. They know what happened. They know what happened, and I've been free for 10 years because I'm not a fucking murderer.
It doesn't matter if you're a murderer or not, Mary. What matters is that a lot of people are saying that you basically, I don't know, instigated it. Even if you didn't commit the crime, you're still considered an accomplice because you helped hide the body. You and Kenneth went to a Walmart to pick up a shovel. It doesn't matter if you actually committed the crime. It's the fact that you help facilitate the scene. You're running out of time.
But you people aren't you? You're killing me. You're destroying me. You're taking away all of my support, all of my help, all of my hope for life. Taking it all away just because you want money.
It's not about money.
People are paying you to lie about a homeless person who has done nothing to you at all. Oh, but, you know, it's going to keep you from being homeless, right? That's why you're doing it. That's why it matters, because they're paying you enough money to keep you from ever being homeless. So it's perfectly fine to keep kicking that homeless, mentally ill person out on the street and telling them that they're a liar and telling them that they're garbage and telling everybody else around them that they deserve death for a crime that they absolutely did not commit, was never tried for, was never convicted of.
Oh.
Prove that I am a murderer or shut the fuck up. And I'm not saying, well, speculate on what could have happened. Prove that I'm a murderer or stop calling me a murderer. You don't get to continuously fabricate lies to that extent. You know that calling somebody a murderer will send people after that person in real life. And you have shown zero proof to what you're saying. Absolutely none. Show proof or shut the fuck up and allow me to have my life back, because this has been going on for 5 months and y'all haven't shown a goddamn thing. You say, oh, well, there's surveillance footage. Show it. Show it.
The surveillance footage, I was watching the Adrasdea documentary prior to doing this stream because AP has uncovered some truth about the whole incident regarding the murder. And I like to give kudos to AP for making part 2 of the documentary. I was currently watching it until I decided to do this stream. And there's a lot of crazy shit I still have yet to learn about. I mean, from what the family is saying and from what Mary is saying, the thing we have to understand is that anything her family or anything that Mary or her family say should be taken with a grain of salt. And the fact is this: there are 2 sides to a story. And from the perspective of the people who actually saw or reported on the incident, some things need to be questioned. And let's not forget there's CCTV footage of Mary and Kenneth at a store buying a shovel. I mean, you can lie all you want, Mary, but it doesn't negate the fact that there's a lot of evidence that points out that, yeah, you were an accessory to a murder. It doesn't mean you actually killed Roberta, but you facilitated it. You tried to cover it up. You helped try to cover it up. I mean, I don't know what other stuff you said. I mean, I don't know what you said in your book. All I know is that anything you say is basically considered questionable. Your testimonies are vague. I agree. What she's doing is called a boy. I agree, Adonis. I know, Adonis. You're right, Adonis. Nobody's calling her a murderer. I mean, that is true. No, she didn't serve time, Blue. But she has been avoiding a lot of shit. She hasn't served time, Blue. And I agree with Adonis about the fact that she's lied so many times. Especially when...
There's fingertips. Okay, show it.
I almost forgot about the part where she was held captive. Yeah, Adonis Paul's right. She has lied about the confinement, about being held captive by Kenneth. It was in her book, and I don't know if I can find the book because I'm not going to pay extra money to read some fan fiction with grammatical errors and inconsistencies.
Show it!
Also, she's not the first one who's doing this whole avoidance bullshit. Another person that I've been covering, Shani, has also been known to be avoiding her crimes too. The crimes of child neglect and the crimes of physical and verbal domestic abuse. These 2 women are going on the warpath trying to cover up or recoup their losses. And what this is basically utter insanity. And you're welcome, Adonis.
Call the fucking police and tell them everything you know and show it and have me convicted. Or leave me alone. Period. I am not afraid. I will talk to the police. If they want to reopen the case on what could have happened, I will fucking talk to them. The same way I did the first time. And he'll talk to them. And he'll fucking confess again!
Again! Okay, I think the reason why she's freaking out about Kenneth is because there have been people in Adonis's community that have been trying to reach out to Kenneth behind bars. And she's scared that Kenneth is gonna cast the blame onto her and have her arrested, have her indicted. And she's afraid that if people try to, like, pinpoint her location, she's gonna lose her Section 8 housing. She's gonna lose her government cheese. She's gonna lose her forever home, as what they refer to it as. She's paranoid that people are gonna see her for who she is, a complete lying, manipulative sociopath.
Again and again and again, he will confess to the crime that he committed, and I will be told that I didn't do anything, that I didn't kill anybody, I didn't bury anybody, I didn't dismember anybody. That never even happened. They're lying about that to make me look like a worse person than I really am. God damn it!
Wow.
I just want my goddamn life back. I just want a life where I'm allowed to, like, cook myself something for breakfast and have friends that I can talk to and just fucking exist. And they took that away from me just because they hate me, and they hate me for absolutely no reason. They have no reason to be doing this to me. They had no reason to be out for my blood. And I've still got all of those screenshots of the thousands of people that were telling me that Royce wants my blood. Adonis wants my blood. They want my blood. They want my pain.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that incident. That whole, oh my god, Royce Lopez wants me dead! Adonis Paul wants me dead! I almost forgot about that. And that part where she was screaming, God damn it! I'm pretty sure some people heard that, and they're gonna be concerned. I hope nobody calls the cops on her. I mean, maybe a little time for herself to, I don't know, maybe a little confinement would be, you know, I'm not going to say she deserves to be arrested. I'm saying that maybe not arrested, but put in like a small room where she can reorganize her mind, because being out in the open like this isn't healthy for her, especially with this heat coming on, and of course a pandemic. She's gonna have a bad time. She's a danger to herself. That's all I can say about her, is that she's a danger to herself.
And they're gonna keep lying and telling people that I'm a murderer until they get my blood. And nobody's ever gonna care because I'm worthless. Because I can't work, and that's all that matters in this world. All that matters is whether you're able to hold a job, and I'm not. I don't have any weed. I don't have any money to get any. My phone is off, and it's never going to be turned back on. because I'm never going to have the money to turn it back on. Not ever. Not now that they've taken away all of my supporters and all of my friends and made them believe that I'm a murderer.
I don't know about that. All I know is that a lot of people have been telling people to stop supporting Adrasdea. I almost said Shani. Yes, a lot of people have been telling Adrasdea's supporters to stop donating to her because, well, she wastes her money on weed, mostly weed, from what I hear. And that's the thing with Shani and Adrasdea. There's a similarity between the two. They always cry about not having money, and then people feel sorry for them, and they donate to them. Well, they used to donate to Shani because now that Shani's been caught red-handed, her channel's been terminated, and she can't make another one. Even though she'll try and she'll claim that she'll get her channel back, it's never going to happen. And that's why I decided to move away from Shani and focus on this sociopath, this crazy bitch. Now she's in college.
I didn't kill anybody. Every day they're accusing me of murder. I didn't kill anybody, and they have not proved that I have killed anybody. They have zero evidence, zero proof. They have shown nothing but old newspaper articles that barely even say my name. Yes, there were emails talking about getting her out of his life because we were talking about putting her in a nursing home. There was not a single email that said to kill her.
Maybe you should have reworded it wrong.
Me.
No one's ever gonna believe me.
In a nursing home.
No one will ever believe me.
She wouldn't eat. He was never planning to put her in a nursing home though because he knew she was pregnant.
I don't know about that part.
To let her live.
I don't know about the pregnancy part. I am going to assume that part was made up because I don't know about the whole pregnancy thing. I can say she's lying because that's what she does. That's what she is known for, is to lie and save face because she can't be held accountable for anything. And I mean anything. I guess you could say, she's a lol cow. She's a lol cow. And I should know, I'm teetering. But I will avoid that shit.
He was looking for somebody to replace her. He gave me a fake name when I met him, a fake occupation, a fake age. Everything he originally told me was made up.
We've got Adonis Himmler in the chat. Oh my god. Okay, that's the last joke I steal for tonight. And no. I didn't steal that. That was the nickname Mary gave Adonis. I mean, don't call him Hitler.
Everything he told me was a lie.
Maybe you shouldn't have believed him in the first place.
Everything Daywave and Adonis Paul are telling these people are lies.
They aren't.
My life is over. They have effectively ended my existence.
They ended my existence!
Just by lying. By refusing to be honest.
By refusing to be honest!
By refusing to accept that they made a mistake or do some more research before talking about somebody.
They have talked to somebody. They have talked to family members who have admitted to all of the things Mary has been known for. known to have lied about. I mean, I don't know about the whole cutting her wrist. I know that I guess you could say Mary likes to punch her wrists. Can we, Adonis, can you say that Mary's punches her wrists? Because I know another lolcow who likes to punch her wrists to get people to feel sorry for her. I mean, ask Royce if we can use that phrase. If you guys can use that, ask Royce if you can use that phrase, punching her wrists, every time Mary threatens suicide.
My family will never accept how abusive they are, but them trying to have me locked up for a crime they know I didn't commit is proof that they're abusive. No family in the world would be trying to have their loved one locked up for a crime they know they didn't commit unless that family was abusive and trying to get rid of that loved one because that loved one speaks too much and has never been loved.
Oh my god. This is what I find funny about these lolcows is that every time they have this little hissy fit, they always go to the whole, nobody loves me. My family doesn't love me. I just want to be loved. I just want to be cherished. It's the same song and dance I see with other idiots on this platform.
The family doesn't want you people to care about me. They don't want anybody to care about me. And nobody will believe that because that's not how families work. Unless they're abusive. This family has wanted me personally dead since I was an infant. And now they've got thousands of other people supporting them and wanting me dead.
Oh my god.
I wake up every single day wanting to just die and knowing that everybody else wants me to just die.
And about that gun, did Mary actually purchase a gun in 2016, Adonis? Or did she just make that up? Because that is kind of that's kind of a disgusting thing to say, especially in front of your audience. I mean, nobody wants her dead. No one wants her dead. And I can vouch for that. Nobody. I don't want her dead. I also want her to get the help she needs because she is mentally unstable and she really needs psychiatric help. I mean, she says she sees a therapist, but I don't know if she's ever talked about the sessions. I don't see her talking about her sessions. She says she's on medication, or at least she's on some form of medication, or was on some form of medication, but again, I don't see the proof.
And nobody's going to care because everybody wants me dead because everybody believes in lies that are being told about me that they have not proven. If they could prove anything, it would be different, but they haven't proven anything. In 5 months, they haven't proven anything except how gullible and cruel their supporters can be.
Also, another note, if you ever do, Adonis, if you ever do look into, like, the old Shandy videos, because I know you have heard of Shandy for Christ, Adonis, because, you were looking at the, one of Shandy's e-begging videos on, Daveway Radio's, on one of Daveway Radio's, streams. There's a similarity between Adrasdea, Shani, and Kimber. All three of these women are basically drug addicts, and they basically cannot take responsibilities for their actions. And they play the victim. I don't know about Kimber. I'm thinking about watching some of the Kimber stories. Also, Kimber, I believe, has like these weird delusions. But I'll know about that once I watch the Kimber videos. And also, I loved the Scooby Star Wars saga. The Scooby Wars, as what we refer to them as.
I don't know how much more I can fight. I've fought and fought and fought for so long, and it's just... I'm alone.
Yeah, Shani is the morbidly obese woman who refused Royce Lopez's donation when she was e-begging on one of her live streams, where she was screaming. She was the pink-haired fat chick who lives with lived in a townhouse. I mean, you might want to know about her because she is basically public. Well, there's a article on her by Business Insider that talks about her disgusting living situation as well as her mistreatment of her kids. Kind of like Kimber, right?
Alone. I'm alone in this world.
You're welcome.
There are thousands of them.
You're welcome. You're welcome, AD. You're welcome, AP. You're welcome. Anyway, there is more about Adrasdea that I really, really find fascinating, because I find fascinating and utter terrifying, because you can laugh, you can cringe, you could say whatever you want. She is off her rocker. And I'm pretty sure if you want, and by the way, Adonis Paul, if you ever want to learn more about Shani for Christ, there's a YouTube channel called Dragnot Silvis who has made countless videos covering her. And there are other YouTubers who have covered her. There's The Geek Room, there's Burnt Toast, there's Jules Tells All. There's other people who have covered Shani for Christ. There's even a documentary made on her by this YouTuber named Cecil McFly, if you want to learn more about that. And
I'm not okay. I know nobody cares, but I'm not fucking okay. 5 months of this has just worn me down, and I'm having crazy thoughts. My brain keeps telling me that it's never going to end unless I die. And that's the only way that any justice is going to happen, because if I die, people will look at these videos and they'll start questioning the people that are hurting me. But if I live, nobody ever sees it, nobody ever cares, and they just get to keep torturing me for the rest of my days. They just get to keep waking me up every day telling me that I'm a worthless garbage human being that doesn't deserve life.
yeah, about that. No one's ever... I don't know anyone who... I know there are a bunch of trolls who like to say mean shit, but none of them really actually mean that. Those words do not hold any validity. I mean, how many times have I... There's a lot of times I have had people say I'm worthless. A lot of people say that I steal jokes, but words are words. I know a lot of people say I'm not funny, but that's the thing. Words are just words. They don't hold any validity to anything. And frankly, some people didn't get the memo because they're so caught up in their own world. And I agree with one of the sayings from Adonis Paul's video, the one of the first part of the documentaries. She is basically a grim reminder of extreme sloth. And she uses suicide as a way to, like, get people to feel sorry for her, get people to back off and leave her alone. But in actuality, it's only going to make things worse for her, because there are people, not even trolls, but concerned audience viewers, who are going to try and alert the authorities or alert mental health resources to, I don't know, try and help her. I mean, there are concerned people who are worried that she's gonna off herself on YouTube, and that's a violation of TOS, threatening self-harm or threatening suicide. That's basically a violation of the terms of service.
They just keep telling people lies about me. The only way anybody's ever gonna listen is if I die. Because I'm not rich. I can't get a lawyer. Nobody's gonna fight for me. But when it comes to death, you don't have to be rich to have justice. Because people...
I couldn't agree more. Openly objective.
People respect the dead and they want to have justice for the dead. Even if that dead body was a worthless garbage thing that nobody wanted in life, once it's dead, people care. And they start looking into why it's dead.
Objective. I would say this is something that's probably pre-YouTube. I mean, this woman might have these suicidal ideations even long before she started doing YouTube videos. I mean, I still believe that Adrasdea, or Mary, I still believe she's a victim of trauma, but she's letting it cloud her judgment. She's letting it corrupt her, twist her mind, and even make her into this person. I'm not saying that what people are doing is immoral. I'm not saying that what she did was disgusting. I'm just saying is that I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I wouldn't even wish that on my enemies. I wouldn't wish death on anyone. Even my own worst enemies. Even myself. But I don't know what we should do with Adrasdea. Well, I know the answer. We shouldn't get involved with her life. All we can do at this moment is just observe from a distance, point our fingers, and maybe laugh at her, even though that's even more mature than that is immature. But the only thing we could do at this point is just observe and not get involved. We don't want her trying to validate her worthlessness by trying to help her out. I mean, you can try, but she's not going to listen. She's only looking for the negativity. And that's the thing I see. That's a common factor with all these locales, is that there has to be some form of turmoil. They always have to find that negativity. And if they can't find it, they'll have to make it up or start creating it in order to validate their victim complex, their persecution complex.
And that's the only hope that there is now for Daywave or his honest caller, any of them, to see justice for what they have turned my life into with
Hashtag justice for Adrasdea.
their lies and their refusal to acknowledge that they were wrong.
I don't know about that, but Adrasdea... she has this delusion where everybody wants her dead, and I don't know what to say. All I know is that she's out of it. I've only known about Adrasdea from Hatman's documentary on her, Hatman's video on her. And then I started paying more attention to her, and then I started looking into people like Adonis Paul and revisiting Royce Lopez, the host of Dave Wave Radio and the host of the co-host of Revenge of the Sis. Which I do love watching Royce and Murr. I mean, Royce Lopez and Michael Murphy, or Murr, they were the ones who covered people like Dayton Hypernova, who is this cross-dresser from Dayton, Ohio, who likes to play the victim and say that his family is abusive. They've also covered the Gamma Dark Lord of the Dark Elk, Theodore Beale, a.k.a. Teddy Spaghetti, and his army of blonde gammas. Okay, I'm just repeating myself. The creator of Hot Dish 2, as well as some other people.
Don't need weed. What I need is love. Today, when I was out,
Woo!
have any weed. I didn't smoke any this morning. I was actually trying to go to the playground just to give myself a break. And I got on the bus and I had intended to ride up to Hollywood.
Exactly. Objective. And as I said, I'll be taking a small break from Shanny for the time being and focus on boomer content. That's right. I'll be looking at some boomer videos of people who think a timeshare is a new home.
And the first thing I saw when the internet connected was the messages from Morgan and from other people. I can't block them.
Yes, that's right. I'll be looking at Fate of Kings, 2 episodes of Fate of Kings, iconic and award-winning web series, Barcelona Boomers, which is discontinued at the moment because what more can we say about a couple of old people walking around on a trail in Barcelona while listening to an extremist say weird stuff and Owen Benjamin.
Because they just make new accounts. There's nothing I can do to escape this.
Crawling in my skin, there's wounds they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confused, see what is real. Whoa. Also, this was today, or
is only on now for a couple of hours a day, normally when I'm on the bus, because I used all my data and I don't have more. Because unlimited has a limit still.
I'm so glad.
But not having internet isn't the problem. The problem is the minute I get it, I'm bombarded with hate.
Here's the thing. Here's some advice. Ignore it. Okay? Ignore the comments. Ignore the hate mob. And just, I don't know, play Pokemon. That's all you can do. It's not that hard. Just play your video games. And ignore what the haters say. I'm not defending you. I'm just saying, if you're having a problem with it, just act like they don't exist. And just move on. It's not that hard. I mean, you have the necessities to grow. It's just you choose not to improve your situation. And this whole victim narrative is holding you back. I should know. I've had this victim. I did the same thing last week on Discord. I thought my Discord meltdown was bad, but this is worse.
Just hate. And I didn't do anything to these people. The lies that they're telling about me.
Thank you,
are
Chase.
lies. They told them to make money for themselves. And now my life is ruined.
I'm thinking about getting back into Pokemon games.
Ever loving me now.
Or sorry. I was thinking about going back into playing Pokemon one of these days. I'm just going to need to find some, I don't know, emulators to start streaming it on. Alright, let's get back to this sad mess.
How could they? When we live in, the 2021, the first thing you do when you meet somebody is Google them to make sure they're not a sex offender. I'm not. But I have a full Kiwi Farms page that makes me look like a horrible person. And I'm not.
I need to get my Kiwi Farms page up.
The things on that page are lies.
Boo-hoo.
And that's what comes up if people Google me. That's what comes up when people do a background check for me. That's what's gonna come up for the rest of my life. Not just my username, Adrasdea, my full name.
Don't dox yourself. Don't do it.
So, what hope is there that I'll ever make a friend now that all of that is there? And it is lies.
Deception.
They're saying that the truck wasn't even mine. Ryan was just letting me borrow it. That's not true. He gave it to me. It was in my name. He said it was mine.
She's referring to the truck that some guy gave her to live in when she was down on her luck. Well, she's always been down on her luck, but like what Adrasdea has claimed, or actually, if you've seen the old Adrasdea videos from when she was still homeless, I mean, AP has included the truck saga, especially the videos and the clips of her urinating in a cup while defecating in a bowl. Okay, I'm sorry to gross you guys out, but she did that. She basically used a cup, some beverage, one of those, I don't know if it's like a gas station convenience store cup a refillable cup from like a fast food restaurant or a gas station, as well as a wooden salad bowl as a commode. When while she was playing Pokemon and making her videos crying about how everybody's being mean to her and people are stalking her, and AP can explain more of this. AP has said more about this than I could, because there's a lot more to the story than meets the eye. And I don't have the brain power to go through every little detail about this woman's life. I mean, Adonis Paul, Hatman, and Dave Wave Radio have covered her with more things to fill an entire novel, which she has written. But again, anything she says should be taken with a grain of salt.
And he took it back. That doesn't mean it wasn't mine, it means that he took it back. And I wasn't asking people at the church for money. I never asked anybody at that church for money. There's so much on there that's just made up to make me look like garbage.
I know.
It doesn't matter how much weed I smoke, this is still gonna be happening. If I went back to being an...
It was a wooden bowl, by the way. It was a wooden bowl, Chase. Because I saw the video. I saw the video of her describing the bowl, and it was wooden. I also like the clips of that Adonis put in there, the Beavis and Butthead clips, where Beavis is saying, poop!
Alcoholic, this would still be happening.
It's chicken fried steak, folks.
There's nothing that can be done to fix it now that these men have set this in motion.
Are you talking about Virgie? Are you talking about Adonis? Are you talking about Royce and JJ?
That's why you can't just go around randomly accusing people of murder without having the right evidence.
Very cringe.
Because that word...
And I know cringe.
...angers people.
I am cringe.
And it starts to blind them to the actual story that's going on. I'm mentally ill.
We know.
And alone.
We know.
And I just got my home after 5 years, and I had so much hope.
We know.
That this year was going to be good. And I have spent near the entire year in tears.
Trust me, babe. Trust me, darling. You're not the only one who had high hopes for 2021. I mean, we still got a pandemic that's probably never going to go away as long as there's idiots who are disagreeing with the whole vaccination efforts. And on top of that, there's still going to be some idiots saying shit to people. I mean, take for instance, I've had issues in my past with a bunch of you know, most of that shit is my fault. But I've had issues recently where I felt like I was defeated and that no one cared. But then I realized that all that shit that people are saying about me is true. And guess what? I decided to avoid that shit. Avoid making the same mistakes over and over again. I'm trying to make my content better. I'm trying to better myself, just to so that I can get more audience, so I can get more traction, because that's important. It's all about it's not always about going to be stupid Yes, I've made so many mistakes in my life. I've been called out constantly. You're not the only one, Mary. Everybody has had their bad days. And I've had my bad day last week when I was faced with the realization that, yeah, I fucked up. And I know a lot of people have been trying to help me out. Even though some people might have said some crazy shit that I didn't agree with, but regardless, I decided that as of now, I'm going to do better and not be that person ever again. I mean, how many times have I ever done that? So many times. And it's kind of disheartening. And yes, I kind of make an ass out of myself every time I speak. But that's usually when I'm in other people's chats or when I'm in other people's hangouts. And that's because there's a lot of people there. And frankly, I guess I don't do well in crowds unless I'm controlling the room. And frankly, that's okay. You don't have to be better. You don't have to put on this persona. You don't have to act so high and mighty to impress others. All you have to do is just be yourself. And frankly, I failed at that because I basically don't have a self to be. Yet.
I'm afraid. I'm being threatened. They're saying, well, there's no threats of death. There's a lot of death threats. There's one person that wants to gut me with a rusty hook.
A rusty hook? I don't know about that part.
I have nobody in real life to lean on.
Somebody lean on.
And I
Did
take fast the few supporters I have online because I feel like I've asked too much of them. And I'll never have any new supporters. Because the first Google brings up the Kiwi Farms page.
Yeah.
Brings up Daywave Show, brings up Adonis Ball shows all of these horrible lies.
I'm surprised she didn't say it brings up Hatman's video. Because, well, then again, Hatman did one video on Adrasdea. But he did cover a few of her videos on some of his streams. But I'm surprised she never talked about Hatman. But I don't think she's smart enough to cross his path or get into beef with him, because he has his spiel. He has his stuff to deal with. He's got other people to cover.
That were being told about me.
Also, you should check out this YouTuber called Hatman. He makes amazing content covering degenerates on the internet.
Just so they can make money.
You can say all you want, Adrasdea, but
I was just nothing. My life is worthless. Except to make other people money. I don't know anybody.
doesn't matter.
And nobody's ever going to believe me.
Alright, sleep tight.
Now that there are so many people saying I did.
Sleep tight, openly objective.
nobody's ever going to believe me. Nobody's ever going to listen to me again. That's why I don't want to live anymore. That's why I don't see a future for me.
Hey, Draven, what's up?
When I look...
Yeah, Draven, I mean, I know you guys like to cover on Shani. I mean, but right now I'm taking a break from Shani and focusing on this person. Her name is Adrasdea. She's a perpetual victim, much like Shani, except the difference is she has no kids, she has no spouse, she lives in Section 8 housing, and she basically cries about about people stalking her. And she has threatened suicide on more than one occasion. She lives in LA in a section, like I said, Section 8 housing. She was homeless for 5 years. She once lived in Jacksonville, Florida, on her grandma's property. And I think Missy Ann mentioned that she was responsible. She was an accomplice to murder. She was an accomplice to a murder case that took place in 2009 when her boyfriend, a convicted child predator, murdered his fiance with cerebral palsy and buried the body and hid the body underneath the property.
Look into my future now. I just see real life people that are finding that kiwi farm.
Thank you so much.
Leaving them.
You're always welcome.
I'm just this horrible drug addict.
Yeah, she is a drug addict. If you wanted to learn more, hey Draven, if you want to learn more about Adrasdea, it's Adrasda. You should look up this YouTuber named Adonis Paul. He made a 3-hour documentary on her, which has a second part, which recently came out. It's called Mayo. Go look up Adonis Paul, and you'll find the videos that he made on her. Especially this documentary style, which lasts for like 3 hours. If you get bored with her crazy ramblings, you can guess the songs that he uses, from the instrumental songs that he uses in his clips. I basically have been playing a guessing game on what song he uses within those clips. And I've even sung to some of them.
Choosing to not work.
Jeremy's broken for yesterday.
I'm barely mentally able to ride a bus. It's not a choice to be like this. My fear and my anxiety and...
No, that's not that. No, she's worse than Trishlicious, whatever her name is. And Elegant Minds. I'd like you to meet Elegant Minds. Elegant Mind. This is Adrasdea. She's Adrasdea is batshit crazy. That's all I can say about her. She was an accomplice to murder. Well, an accessory to a murder case that happened in 2009. She lived on her grandmother's property. You know, I don't need to explain who Adrasdea is. You can check out Adonis. You can look up Adonis Paul and find 2 documentary style videos he did on her. And also he makes amazing content. He's funny as hell. I'll send you a link in the chat, Draven. Here. It's called, here. And here's part 2. Oh, sorry.
My social issues are not a choice. They're a sickness that I've been trying to overcome.
Exactly. You're welcome, Draven. You're welcome. She, actually, this is the thing, Elegant Minds. She never killed anyone. Well, she was an accessory. She may have instigated it. She might go and say that, oh, we need to put this woman inside a home, but she didn't word it correctly. It was an email that she sent to her crazy sexual predator boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, who is batshit insane. Her ex-boyfriend was a convicted child molester who is also a murderer. As I said before, Kenneth McBride married Adrasdea's ex-boyfriend, killed his fiancée named Roberta Law by strangling her. And then she helped him hide the body. That's all I need to say.
I'm literally just trying to exist. I thought maybe...
She also has a Kiwi Farms thread on her. If you, like she said, if you type her name, you're going to find the Kiwi Farms thread. There's a lot.
I could write books. I could be an author. I can't do that now because even if I write a new book, I'll sell one and then they'll give it away for free.
I see what's going on here. It's all about money.
What hope is there for me? I can't be a YouTuber. I can't be an author. I can't find somebody and get married.
And in case you're wondering, Elegant Mind, Adrasdea, she's kind of like Shani for Christ, except she doesn't have any kids. She doesn't have a husband to bully. She lives in Section 8 housing, and she's basically mentally unhinged. Not like Shani. Well, Shani, she's basically about as batshit crazy as Shani is, except she doesn't preach the gospel, or she doesn't have her own G-man to simp for her. I know she had a few simps that would defend her on anything, on almost anything she says, but she doesn't have a G-man to support her or give her money. Or flirt with her.
Not with the name that I have now.
Then
Not
you
with what you people have done to it.
Then you should have changed your name when you had the chance.
Retaliation for me being sick when you attacked me.
No one.
They didn't do anything to deserve this.
Well, you went on and falsely accused people. You say you didn't do anything to deserve this, Mary, but you basically have falsely accused people of harassing you constantly. You've slandered people like Adonis Paul, people like Royce Lopez, people like Virgie. You've basically have made false accusations towards said people and claim that they wanted you dead, when in actuality they want you to get help. They want you to leave the internet for your own safety, because as we know, you're a danger to yourself, if not to others.
I can't deal with it.
Then get off YouTube.
I really can't. I really can't.
It's simple.
Every time I calm myself down, it just starts thinking about it again. About the fact that I'm never even going to be able to make a friend now. Because as soon as I go to Google, it's going to come all of that up. And it's... people believe what they read. They don't...
Who needs friends when you have enemies? That's all I say. That's all I'll ever say.
That's what's going to be believed about me for the rest of my life. And then y'all wonder why I see no reason.
Yeah, she is another Shani. And yes, Adrasdea, she is a grifter too. She's a grifter too. If you think about it, she can be considered a grifter because she was e-begging. When she was homeless, she was e-begging, asking people, begging, doing this whole sympathy pity party shit, begging for money on her YouTube channel just so that she can buy weed. Kind of like Shani did. And people have donated to this woman. People have donated to her to either shut her up or like help her get better. But in actuality, she's wasted that money on pot and who knows, other drugs.
What if I tried to get a job and they Googled me and found that I was a drug addict?
Not all businesses do like a background check. I mean, there are some who do background checks, but some of those usually don't even care about what you did in the past. And plus, there are places who can hire just about anyone. I mean, you can work at the post office. You can work as like a receptionist at some free clinic. But at this point, I would think you're a liability, but you could easily well be faking it. I don't know much about your personal life. All I know is that what about the life you put on YouTube. Like I said,
the only drug I use now is marijuana.
Exactly. Hey, Vila Vendetta.
And I'm in California. But that doesn't stop them from calling me a drug addict.
Oh, we're still...
These people have loved ones.
We know.
Virgie has a new baby. He has a spouse. What do I have?
Who cares if other people are living successful? Who cares? That isn't any of your concern, Mary. What you're concerned... You should focus on you. And yes, I'm probably going to be taking my own advice, but you should focus mostly on your betterment, not on everyone else's. To hell with what people have to say about you. I mean, then again, everybody has every right to say what they need to say about you. And that goes for almost everyone, even me. Even though I usually... And I had to figure that out the hard way last week. And I shouldn't be bringing that shit up because I know I'm bearing. It's in the past. What is past is prologue. And it's all in the past, but regardless, everybody has something to say. And most of the times, they're right. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to crack a few jokes. I'm being sincere, is that words are words. And yes, I know you did a lot of fucked up shit in your past, but so what? What matters is that you focus on your betterment. But that's probably too hard for you since you haven't had any formal job training. And, you know, there are programs that can help you find work, that can help you train for a job. There are job training programs that you can sign up for. Again, I'm not defending this woman. I'm just giving her some advice.
What do I...
Oh, I did do a video on that one. I think you saw that. Yeah, I did have that one. I did cover that one. But regardless, I did cover that one. I think it's called the Hamby's Chronicles Parents Tell All. Is this the same one?
I'm no panic.
Yeah, it was the Hamby's Chronicles. Oh, Vila Vendetta. This is Adrasdea. She's kind of like Shani, except she doesn't have kids or a spouse. And she lives in LA in a Section 8 housing. And that's all I need to say. She's crazy. If you want to learn more about her, I'll shoot you a link in Discord to look at Hatman's video. Or, because Hatman did a video on her. She's living in LA, California.
They want you to believe that I'm just manic because that makes it my fault. As if I just woke up feeling this way and it wasn't because I received multiple messages every day telling me that I'm a murderer, that I'm a bad person, that I don't deserve life, that I don't deserve help, that they're happy.
Did I just play this? Or was this a continuation of the one that we saw earlier?
They have taken away all of my support, all of my friends, that nobody's ever going to care about me, that nobody's ever going to love me or want me or hear me. I receive these messages every single day. And then when they upset me, you say that it's my own fault because I'm crazy. I'm receiving these messages. I block them and they just make new accounts because there are thousands of them and I will never be free. And nobody will ever believe me until I actually die. And they think that that won't do any good, but it will. It will, because I have doctors and therapists, and I have, all of it has been documented. They have your names, they have it all written down. It is all documented that I've been fighting this for 5 months. It is all documented. It's all documented. I'm not hurting my...
Poopy! I'm sorry, I just had to say that. Well, long story short, Vila, or Viola. Can I call you Viola? Viola. Long story short, Viola. Mary Barone, aka Adrasdea, is an accessory to a murder that happened in 2009. Her ex-boyfriend, who was a convicted child predator, murdered her fiance on behest of this woman on screen. I agree, Elegant Mind. I agree. She needs to take a break from the internet. It's not doing her any favors. It's only making it worse for her. And she's, like I said, she is like Shani in regards that she's addicted to the attention. But the thing is with Adrasdea. Oh, yes, Vila. Okay, Vila. Yeah, the thing with this woman here, Vila, is that she craves attention. Much like Shani, she craves the attention. She craves the little 15 minutes of fame that she gets from people who cover her. Maybe not from me. Yeah, throw her. Yeah, throw her in the loony bin. She is basically. She's nuts. I can say she is.
Just because I'm a crazy person that's hurting herself. I have been bullied and abused for 5 months. Since February, I have been dealing with this, and it is not going away. It's not lessening. It's not stopping in any way. It's just getting worse.
Like I said, the only way to make it go away is if you disconnect from the internet. Poof. All your problems will go away. Everyone will forget about you. People will move on. It's just that simple. But her puny brain can't get that through her head. And I would say she loves the attention. In fact, she wants the attention so that she could get validation for being a victim. Now, who does that remind you of?
Because if they get in trouble for what they are doing to me, they blame me for it. When their channels got taken down, they blamed me for it, but I didn't do it. I didn't flag their channels, and I didn't make them make those videos about me that went against YouTube's cyberbullying rules. I didn't do any of it. They made the videos. They broke the rules. They made new accounts to get around the ban and and it is just. But I'm the one that's going to be punished for it for the rest of my life.
Is she talking about Shani?
How long that happens to be, whether that's only a couple of hours or a couple of years, I'm going to wake up every single morning with people telling me that I'm a murderer. Just because those people told them that, and they refuse to change it. They refuse to retract.
Section 8 housing is basically housing that will help people with mental disabilities find a place to live. It's basically, it's kind of like Social Security, but it helps you with, it helps people with disabilities have a place to stay. And provides like a living situation as well as roof over the head and money.
They refuse to make right on what they did wrong. They refuse to tell people that I am not a murderer, that I don't deserve this. They won't.
You know, I could go on all night talking about the murder case, but I'll let something in. I'm just going to take a look at Adonis Paul's first video on her, which is this one. I'm not going to let you watch the 3-hour-long video, but here's an article that I found. I don't know if it's still going to come up, but here's another article. Aw, oh, damn. Here. Killer of disabled Clay County woman sentenced to life. And this was on February 17th, 2011. Green Cove Springs, a Clay County jury recommended the death penalty for a Middleburg man who halted trial last week to plead guilty to strangling and burying his wheelchair-bound girlfriend. Then, moments after the jury was thanked for its services, dismissed from the courtroom, Circuit Judge John Skinner rejected the recommendation and sentenced Kenneth Ray McBride, age 37, to life without parole. McBride was charged with It was an unusual move that jolted lawyers on both sides of the case, as Skinner said little from the bench to explain his reasonings. He told McBride nobody would ever know why he killed 46-year-old Roberta Laws, but that prison would be an appropriate place for him to die one day, whether that be by natural causes or suicide. McBride was charged with Laws' February 2009 murder. So it was in February of 2009. Excerpts from an interview with police show that he told investigators he choked her like a dog. Laws' remains were found buried near McBride's home in Middleburg. Authorities say McBride donated Laws' wheelchair to the Salvation Army. Okay, this one's about McBride, the murderer. After Laws had cerebral palsy, prosecutor John Guy argued her condition made the crime particularly heinous, as she was defenseless against a choking. Thank you for whoever scribed. Oh. Laws had cerebral palsy. I already read that part. Prosecutor. I already read that part. Alright. She was defenseless against the choking attack that a medical examiner estimated would have left her conscious for several minutes as she contemplated why her lover chose to kill her. McBride is a registered sex predator since an arrest in 1996. The victim in the case was a girl under the age of 12. Guy asked the jury to consider how McBride used his second chance from the legal system to kill someone who loved him. That's a red flag there. Chief Assistant Public Defender Rafiq Ilir argued that McBride acted poorly on his emotions as he tried to foster a relationship with another woman. That's Adrasdea. He showed the jury emails suggesting that the two had talked about the need to get Laws out of McBride's life. If he was a loaded gun, she pulled the trigger, Ilir told the jury. That doesn't excuse it. But he'll have every day for the rest of his life to think about what he's done to someone he loved. Almost ironically, the woman's email handle was Broken Angel, although Eller called her an accessory to murder. She was never charged. In fact, she was the one who went to the police when she realized what McBride had done. The woman this guy was talking about is Adrasdea, or Mary Barone, which is her real name. Yeah. That's the murder case she was referring to. And oh, damn. Oh, yeah, that's right.
They won't, but after I die, people will know that I was not a murderer. It will come out then, at least, that I was innocent.
You might not be the murderer, but... Sorry. Some grease. Mary, you might not be the murderer, but you are still considered an accessory. And, what I said earlier about the whole, doesn't matter what you did in your past, I rescind that statement. Yeah. You're screwed. And it doesn't matter if you try to act like the poor abuse victim or not. People will look up that article. The same article that Adonis Paul put in his first documentary on you. And they're going to look through that shit and they're going to see that said article. And it doesn't matter if you're not a murderer. You're still an accomplice.
The way anybody's ever gonna believe I'm innocent is if I die and the truth is finally brought to justice. It's finally brought out. They're not going to stop any other way. They've taken away all of my support, all of my friends, all of my help, everything. Even God hates me now.
Alright. Well, that's gonna do it for tonight. I hope this stream was special. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification, and give this stream a like. If you also want to support me in other ways, again, I have a PayPal. You can donate there. Well, and that's if I figure out a way to get the transactions through. But I also, if you want to follow me, again, my Twitter is rgjaime91 on Twitter. And if you want to join my Discord, the link is also in the description. I will be covering Adrasdea more often, and I'm also going to be covering other stuff that I like, including including Fate of Kings' groundbreaking, award-winning 2-episode series, Barcelona Boomers, which was made in 2019, as well as looking for other locales to criticize. That's going to do it for this evening. I am Rickzilla, and I will see you guys in the near